Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF, joined as always by my main man at FF Snoog and the trade maestro himself at Broc Dynasty. Trade show Tuesday on week 2. This is crazy. Like, I am so excited for these trades because week 1 was wild, Brock. I mean, we saw a lot of people, a lot of studs underperform. We saw a lot of guys blow up out of nowhere. You're going to see a ton of trades in here where it's guys that are trying to capitalize on the hype and other guys that are going to try to undersell on studs. And the hardest thing when it comes to Dynasty is just not overreacting, especially on week 1.
Yeah, it's blocking out the noise. It's kind of understanding. I think I saw something that said out of like the top 10 redraft wide receivers, like 7 of the 10 combined for 70 yards. And it's like, do we think Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown are going to have bad seasons? No. But in your dynasty leagues, maybe you can get them for a little bit cheaper than you could a week ago, which sounds crazy, but that's the reality of it is someone wants points to their lineup. They didn't get them. They might want to make a change. So it's always good to just at least send out some deals. I know Snoog's probably doing that in his leagues. You got to lowball people sometimes because you never know, especially if that player's coming off a dud performance.
Yeah, I was going to say, right now we got a 3 to 5 week window here where George Kittle's out at least the next 4 weeks on IR. And I know Snoog, just like the back of my hand, is both of us just went out there and offered 20 some offers to get Kittle on our team. Like, if we don't have him, we're getting him, and like, I think this creates a lot of opportunities where you talk about injuries. We got potential injuries to Bowers, London, Kittle, Ingram, Snoog. I mean, there's so much potential for dynasty trades right now.
Yeah, and if you just keep piggybacking off of what Brock said, I mean, Brian Thomas Jr., A.J. Brown, George Pickens, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, the list goes on. Apparently, wide receivers decided to stay at home just like we did on Sunday. So I'm expecting a huge bounce back week. Things are going to shift. It's going to be back to normal, in my opinion. So I'm excited, Dad. You mentioned the injury discounts. You can start sniping guys like Michael Mayer, backups to, Brock Bowers and those type of guys as well. So a lot changing, Tank Bigsby trade. So I'm excited to see how this trade show goes. There's a lot of value skyrocketing, a lot of people plummeting, and a lot of people flip-flopping in Dynasty right now.
So we're going to do a quick Twitter one here. But what I got to tell you guys is YouTube is the way to go. You get in, you get the super chats, you guarantee yourself in, enters you in a wheel. 5, 10, 15, and 20 will be giving away prizes like we always do. 4, free Discord. 5 is basic. 10, 15, and 20 get you a VIP monthly. And we had a guy last week that won a year of VIP. Thomas Smith wants to know, Snoog, should I trade my first overall pick, the 101 in 2026, for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
If you have the first overall pick next year, you're likely rebuilding. It's likely trading your own pick. I'd rather just keep it. Like, if I'm going to rebuild, I want some type of reward at the end of it. And it's better being that 101 in the next class. I don't care who you think it might be right now, because there's a good chance it's someone different. And that pick is going to skyrocket in value regardless when that pick is on the clock. It'll probably be worth more than Marv, as much as I do love Marv. Yes, if Marv was coming out, he would be the 101. But he's already out, so there's insulated value and less volatility with that pick.
Yeah, the tricky part right now, and I just redid my rankings and my values in the Patreon, and as well as, my buys list, is last year we were talking about this player is worth this and that compared to the 25 class. When it comes to the 26 class, I find myself, Genty was the 101. I find myself putting 25 plus guys over the 101 next year, and Marv is definitely one of those guys. But you're right. You want to let it accumulate. If it is 100% the 101, you want to hold on to it, let it add up. The 101 of trade show hosts, Broc Dynasty, I'm going to let you take over, boss.
All right. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Trade 1 here coming from Adam Chapman, submitted through Twitter. We got one side with CeeDee Lamb and Quinshaw Judkins, who will be back at practice tomorrow. Other side is Tet McMillan, Marv, and Cortland Sutton. Snoog, I'm going to kick this one here your way. What do we think?
Ooh, I'm going with the CeeDee side. I think CeeDee has a real chance at the wide receiver 1 overall this year. Judkins is going to hop right back into a first-round pick plus value, in my opinion. Can Marv get close to CeeDee? I don't think so. Can Tet? Probably not. Are they both valued more than Judkins? Yes. Is Sutton a difference maker in this trade for me? No. I'm taking Lamb and Judkins here.
If you offered me Tet and Marv for Lamb today, I would take it. I would take the pair. I think the deal breaker on this for me is Judkins over Sutton.
Same.
If Sutton was a 27 first, random, even late, I think I would take the package. You know what I mean? Then I want, because I believe in Tet so much. I mean, you look at 27% target share. Bryce Young played like dog water, but like with these guys on the right-hand side don't have the same level of quarterback play. I want the Lamb side here, but if we can get Sutton bumped up to a first, or we can get maybe, take out Sutton and Judkins, or make Judkins more of like a Caleb Johnson, then I'm doing it. But I'm with Snoog here. I'm going on the CeeDee Lamb side. He is arguably the wide receiver one. It's him. Jefferson looked real good in the second half. Chase is going to have a comeback here. Speaking of comebacks, here it is. First super chat of the night, baby.
All right. First super chat coming in from nephew EJ. Appreciate it here, EJ. We got one side with Tootin, Keenan Allen, and a random 27 first. Other side, Quinshawn Judkins' dad. He needs a RB2. Tootin coming up the depth chart with the Bigsby trade. Keenan, solid performance, and a random first, or Judkins. What do you think?
You're going to hate me, Snoog. That's a cowbell for me, honestly, because I think Judkins is worth that random 27 first. Bashal Tootin right now. Honestly, that Tank Bigsby trade was huge. Travis Etienne, phenomenal week one. He's the guy to buy. You're going to see a lot of trades with him in here. But Bashal Tootin is now the next man up, and he's at least going to get 30% share of what's going on here in the Liam Cohen offense. Writing is on the wall where we've said that he's kind of his Bucky. We'll see what happens. Maybe he eats into that. But I think this is the kind of insulation here where if I'm contending, nephew EJ, I'm taking the Tootin side. I'm putting Keenan in my flex because I think he's going to give you some solid weeks. And I'm taking that random 27 first, and I'm buying Derrick Henry.
James Cook.
I'm buying James Cook. I'm buying Kyron Williams. Snoog, I know you didn't like this before. And I've been on this hype train of these guys, and it's like, but they got their bags. I'm buying Jacobs, Kyron, Cook everywhere because let's just be honest now. You're going to get 2 years of elite production from all three of them. Might not be sexy, might not be pretty, but you're going to get RB1 production.
Yeah, you hit it on the head there. I've been talking myself into those guys a lot more now, especially James Cook, just a guy more underrated, less valued than like a Kyron, than some of those other guys. He's going to score 12, 14, 15 touchdowns in this Bills offense. I love Judkins, but I feel like I can do more with the left-hand side. I get a high-end handcuff plus rookie and Tootin. I get a strong flex play and a random 27 first. I can buy a lot of players with that random 27 first. As much as I love Judkins, it's just slightly – I feel like you're kind of paying not his ceiling, but like a really high price for a player that hasn't played a single snap, had the issues, hasn't practiced. Like just you're paying a little too much. If it was just the first, I'd do it, but adding those pieces on top as well, I wouldn't do it.
All right, trade 2 here coming from Brocker Shocker, submitted there on the Discord. A 12-team super flex, pretty standard there. We got one side with Joe Burrow. Other side is Kyler, 2 seconds, both the next 2 years, and a 28 third. Snoog, do the picks even matter in something like this, or are you just trying to take the best quarterback asset here in Burrow?
Give me the foundational asset in Joe Burrow, who's going to outscore Kyler by 5 points a game and probably play for 5 to 7 more years than Kyler will.
This is a great kind of trade because it's like Kyler put up,
doable.
Depending on what your fantasy points were, put up like 25. And Burrow, let's be honest, Burrow finished bottom 5 in quarterbacks. I mean, it was not pretty. But he's the guy. Like, honestly, if this is, if this is Justin Herbert, I'm starting to consider it. If this is Drake May, maybe I'm considering it, but I'm not. I need a first in here. This has to be Kyler, a first and a second, for me to even consider this as a part of the deal that I'm trying to go through. So, I love the trades that we get in the Discord because I feel like they're different caliber trades. These guys are ones they're talking it up. And Snoog, this is one of the best parts about the Discord is these guys are becoming sharper by the day because they're talking to each other. Not just you and I, not just Brock, not just Al, not just Mark. They're literally talking to each other and be like, yo, this trade just went down in my league. And whenever I got started, I was always talking to people that were like-minded. I'm like, yo, what's going on in your league? What's going on in this? And I think people really start to get into a level where they're stepping their game up more than they ever thought they could.
Yeah, I mean, the Discord never sleeps. I wake up to 50 DMs and 60 people chatting in the chat with Snoog section. Then I look in the dad section, add it on. Then I look in the fantasy football chat section, just the general chat, and there's like hundreds of people talking. I'm like, do people ever sleep in this Discord? Like, it's ridiculous. It's so much fun.
Hey, we got guys from Ireland. We got guys from, there's 2 guys that just joined that they're actually in Africa. I mean, there's like every continent is in the Smash Accept Discord. That's why we created Smash International. I let down America by losing week 1. So I will see if I can step it up for you guys. We'll try to get there. But a couple more super chats here.
Yeah, next one coming in from Corey Ackerman. Appreciate it here, Corey. A full tight end premium. Worthy's another guy who suffered an injury in week 1. Would you trade him and Mason Taylor for Chris Olave, Bashal Tutin, and Trey Harris? Dad, what do you think?
Oh, gosh, this one's tough. Trey Harris is not going to sniff the field. Like, now that Keenan Allen's there, he didn't get in a single snap. I think he's a great
he had a catch.
He
had a catch.
Did he? Did he really?
Yeah, he had a catch by a good amount, yeah.
Really? Okay. All right. I did not see that. I got enamored with little Quentin Johnson, magic there. I just get thrown in every deal. I have Worthy considerably over Olave. Production-wise, you might get it, but Olave, let's not forget, when you have players like Christian McCaffrey, Tua Tagovailoa, and Chris Olave, they are ticking time bombs. Olave is one serious concussion away from ending his season and maybe a career. So when you have those kind of opportunities, you're playing with house money. Olave was really good week 1. Worthy's out for maybe 1 to 2 weeks. So this is a very fair trade. I think Mason Taylor, I'd rather have Tutin than Taylor. I'd rather have Worthy than Olave, and Trey Harris doesn't close the gap a lot for me here. So the tight end premium, I lean Worthy.
Yeah, me too. I lean Worthy over Olave for me. I like Mason Taylor a lot. I like Tutin, but I don't like Trey Harris enough to do this. Give me the Worthy side. We saw Hollywood with 16 targets in week 1. We knew who that would have been if he didn't get absolutely obliterated by a 250-pound Travis Kelce on a crosser. So give me Xavier Worthy. He's a great buy low right now in rebuilds.
And I just hope Taylor Swift doesn't go on any more podcasts hyping up any other Chiefs, because Kelsey's going to take them out too. My man D here, just showing love for the fellas. Hey, D, we appreciate you. Here's a cowbell for that. See that flex in there. D's in the Discord. I have the link there down below. We're going to let that scroll here for a couple minutes because you guys, right now, $5 gets you in there. You get Snoog's rankings, my rankings. You get what Snoog and I keep telling everybody is it gives you the best in fantasy, both dynasty and redraft process, right? We're not here to just tell you this player or that player. We're giving you processes. We're trying to teach you how to fish rather than just throw some fish on your plate. So here we go.
Oh, I like that. All right. Trade 3 here coming from Formula K over submitted on Discord. We got one side with Jacobs and CD, other side ETN, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson. A little jet stack there, Dad. What do we think here?
Jacobs Lamb. I think a week ago we weren't even considering this. We still shouldn't. I mean, the left side, those are studs. They get it done every single week. CeeDee Lamb, Josh Jacobs, set it and forget it. Now the right side, a little bit of question going into 2025. We're like, is Wilson going to get fed? Is Hall even the starting running back? Is Etienne even the starting running back? They looked fantastic week 1. I think the right side really could pan out and be worth in that same area. But I want the Jacobs Lamb side because let's be honest. I mean, I think Hall and Wilson, I would keep Lamb over the pair, and I want Jacobs over Etienne. But I mean, I do think Wilson did look legit. I mean, Snoog, he looked like what you and I have been hyping him to be for so long.
Absolutely. That Jets offense in general, I mean, what their new OC did and what Aaron Glenn did was pound the ball down the team's throat and throw the play action, get that concept going. And they did a really good job doing that. But I don't like trading CeeDee Lamb in general. Never mind going to as much as I love Garrett Wilson, the volatility and the uncertainty of that offense in general. I don't think Hall is much of an upgrade over Jacobs in general in Dynasty to go from Lamb to Wilson and throw Etienne, and it's still not enough for me. I'm with the CeeDee Lamb side as well.
Yeah, I think that's just the only way to go on that one. You know what also is? Flottig, for the love of the game, from our guy Doof. It wouldn't be a show without Doof throwing that in there. And then we got another super chat. Here we go.
Yeah, next one coming in from Owen. Appreciate it, Owen. We got Zay Flowers and a late 2026 first for AJ Brown and Cortland Sutton Snoog. We got a 2 for 2. Zay coming off a great performance. What side do we like here?
Yeah, I'm really not a Sutton guy at all. I honestly think Bo Nix looked awful in week 1, like so terrible. I think it was brutal how bad he looked. So
it was gross.
I already don't like Sutton to begin with, but Zay Flowers, big riser. I love AJ Brown. I'm buying. I just sold one of my 27 first plus for him in a league. He's gonna be a league winner. Like, he has those games. Last year, everyone felt the same way, and then he had multiple big weeks, paced out to like 1,300 plus yards. Like, every year, it's the same thing with AJ Brown. He's been in this Eagles offense for 3 years. He's paced over 1,300 yards in all 3 of them, and he's hit 1,400 plus in 2 of them. Like, the connection's there. Is he going to be volatile? Probably, but he's going to have 30, 25, 40-point weeks where it makes it worth it having him in your starting lineup, especially if you trade a late 26 first for a player like that. I just don't think there's a huge enough gap between Flowers and Sutton, because I know I could probably get 2 seconds plus for Sutton between Flowers and Sutton to go from AJ Brown with a late 26-1. So give me AJ Brown side here slightly.
If that's a mid 26 first, I want the Flowers side. Flowers looked electric. I mean, he looked like all the bit of Tyreek Hill for that offense.
Yep.
Given that fact, and I would trade AJ Brown for Flowers in a first right now. I would do that in a heartbeat. Sutton changes it a little bit. If that's a late second, I think I would do that. But I really prefer the AJ Brown and Sutton side here in this particular one. Add a second to the Flowers side. I think it's fair. Take Sutton out. I think it's a smash. So that's the way I would be leaning on that one.
Same.
All right. Trade 4 coming from Derek Davis over from Smash Research. We got one side with Daniel Jones and a 2027 third, other side a 2026 second, and a 27 fourth. Now, Dad, Daniel Jones had himself a game there against the abysmal Dolphins defense. Are you buying him right now for a second, third, fourth swap is what it is? Is that about the price you'd pay?
This is like one of those, like that Spider-Man meme, right? Where he can't see, that he takes the glasses off, and then all of a sudden Daniel Jones looks like Peyton Manning. What the hell was that? Like, honestly, that was crazy. And shout out to Derek Davis, the Smash Research. We've been having some guys really put in some effort to help with some threads, to help with some shows. So really appreciate you, Derek. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter. I'm low key. If I need the quarterback, I'm fine with Daniel Jones here. I mean, he looked really good.
Same.
On the other side, like what I would sell him for any second. So I have no problem not, like most of the time, if I have Daniel Jones, right? I treated Daniel Jones last year just like I treated Jameis Winston the year before. After he got benched, I was getting him thrown into deals, knowing that he would start at some point, and then you flip him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all about process here. If you need a quarterback, fine, go get Daniel Jones. No problem with that. But I kind of prefer the 26 second if it's mid to early and I don't need the quarterback, because I don't see Daniel Jones ever being worth a first again. So low key Daniel Jones in this particular trade. But if I could trade him for a 26 second, I'm going to do it right now.
He's the perfect QB3 to have, especially in like a 4-point passing when rushing QBs get a little bit of a bump, because he's a decent rusher. So 4-point passing, love it. QB3. If I'm rebuilding, I'm selling for a second. If I'm contending, I need a QB3 or 4. I'm taking them for a late second.
All right, EJ coming back into the super chat lane. We appreciate it here, EJ. Said he sold Krosky Merritt for a random 27 first. Will he regret it? Snoog prefers the first, Dad. What about you here after week 1 performance?
I don't think you're going to regret it. Again, process over results. A guy that got drafted late in the draft, you took him in the 4th round of your rookie draft and you sell him for a first. 99 times out of 100, you win it. Now, a lot of people are coming to me and saying, Dad, what about this second? What about that second? No, we're past the point of selling Bill for a second. I would need a first. I don't care if it's a 26, 27, or even 28. He did have 48% of the snaps. There is a real world scenario where he bumps himself way up in dynasty rankings because he's in a ripe situation with an elite quarterback. He's got a lot of explosive traits. I think he could carve out a role, but a random 27 first, that's a cowbell. We haven't got into those, but I mean, 100%. I would take that all day long.
The vision, the explosiveness, the opportunities there. 7th round pick, taking a random stud 27 first in a stud class. I mean, 9 times out of 10, Dad, like you mentioned, like that's going to end up winning in your favor. Like unless you get unlucky with a Puka Nakua type of player, but usually it works out.
Yeah. Next super chat coming in from High Class Scumbag. Appreciate the super chat here. He got one side with AR-15 Travis Hunter and a mid-first in 27 and 2026. Other side is Bo Nix, Quinshon Judkins, and a third Snoog. I kick this one your way. Shaking for a cowbell. Break it down here.
Cowbell for me all day. You're getting the big upgrade from Judkins. I'm literally looking at this like, give me the 2 firsts over Nix, and I'll take Travis Hunter and AR over Judkins in a third. Like, I think that's the biggest win right here.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I kind of looked at it like Hunter and a 26 first for Nix. Judkins, I mean, I want the 27 first over Judkins, and I definitely want AR over a 26 third. We just talked about, Daniel Jones, but let's be honest, the leash isn't crazy long where you could see Anthony Richardson. He played well enough that it's his job here for at least 4 weeks, but Anthony Richardson's someone you need to get added into your trades, just like I talked about with Jameis and Daniel Jones. You get Anthony Richardson added into deals wherever you can. That's someone that I believe can be worth a first at some point, and like maybe he's complete done. That's a possibility, but I'm willing to get him thrown in on deals.
Yep.
All right. Next one coming in from Main Mac. Appreciate the super chat here. We got Main needing a wide receiver. Who should he target with Quentin and a second, Dad? What do you think? What could he tear himself up to with a package like that?
That's what I don't think I want to say Devontae Adams after a bad week. I don't think you're going to quite get there. I would try to buy Keon Coleman for that. Now, I know Keon Coleman had a big week, but I think that's in that area. I think Pearsall's probably a little bit higher, but I mean, we're on the right track. I think.
What about Tyreek? You think you can get Tyreek for that right now?
I'm worried about Tyreek because now I'm reading more about
more
domestic violence garbage, and it's just like, dude, just Tyreek have a big week, and I'm getting him off my teams.
It's crazy to say. I don't like to say this about anyone, but I think he might be on that CTE path. He's starting to show a lot of those.
He's
signs.
feeling AJ Brownish, but I mean, Quinshon Judkins, or I'm sorry,
Antonio Brownish.
Yeah. He had a big week. I think adding a second, you're not going to get Waddle. Maybe you get Judy. Maybe you get Ayuk. I'm trying to look at my rankings here. Maybe you get Burden. Maybe Mike Evans. But I think Snoog was right there where he was going with. I think it's Devontae Adams, Keon Coleman, Cortland Sutton, Ridley, something like that. I think that's definitely the play there is to try to. Yep. And that's what you do with Quinton Johnston, QJs, both the QJs. I did a trade last year where I got him thrown into a deal. It was Devonta Smith for him in a first. I think I talked about it with Snoog, where that first was random, but it became Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's worth more than Devonta Smith. Quentin Johnston is a guy that you get added in on a trade where you do an insulated trade, and I would do that again. I would trade Devonta Smith for QJ in a first. I would trade Xavier Worthy for a 27 first and QJ. I would do that with JMO. I would do that with Olave, Metcalf, Flowers. I would do that with any of those guys because I think Quentin Johnston's going to have some games where he puts up 20 points like this. I mean, he has 7 touchdowns in his last 11 games, and Justin Herbert looks good. I mean, he looks really good.
Yeah. Trade 5 here coming from Just Incredible, submitted in the Discord. We got one side with Herbert as well as Puka. I saw a thing. Puka, I think he ran 22 routes and got 11 targets.
I saw that too. That's
absurd.
Confirmed. Yeah.
Absurd.
And one laceration.
Yeah. So Herbert and Puka, other side, Olave, Dart, Bryce Young, and a 2026 first. Snoog. What do we think here?
Give me the 2 foundational assets in Herbert and Puka. There's not a single asset on that right-hand side that's going to be a confirmed stud. I would say Chris Olave, but he's literally on such a bad offense with no QB and always is injured. But the other
He gets rocked.
options, Dad, yeah.
It's 4 firsts on the other side, and I am buying Jackson Dart everywhere, but it's 4 late firsts as opposed to Herbert and Puka are worth 2 each. But I would
You
not
think you
give
could get a
out the
first for
foundation.
Bryce right now?
Yes, a late. It's
You
1
think?
week. Everyone forgets my man finished QB 10 over the final 8 weeks. It's one bad week. Lawrence, you can get a first for. He played like an
Yeah,
absolute turd
I feel
sandwich as
like
well. You know
I feel like people have such a bad taste with Bryce Young.
they do.
My
I'll
thing
buy
with
it.
him was like last year it was all garbage time, like playing terrible teams. Like it looked good, but I just get nervous with him still. I think he'll be good for Tet. I don't think himself will be good though for himself, if that makes sense. Maybe
That's
that doesn't
cheeks,
make
bro.
sense, but
Oh,
All
no,
right,
that's who's
trade
up.
6. That's Cheats coming back in from the Discord submitted. We got one side with Kenneth Walker, other side David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, and Harold Fannin with a big week 1 here, Dad. What side do we like?
Huge. I have to take Walker here. This is almost taken like 3. This is like a guy that, you know, he's like, okay, I need 3 assets in my starting lineup, and I just lost Kittle. Give me these 3 guys. Walker's still a premium asset. Walker's still a guy that I'm buying all the Charbonnet I can. I think you're going to see both these guys kind of eat into each other a little bit. But Walker, at worst, is a free agent next year. And then there we go. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened here. Lost my super chat there. Boys, my bad. All right. I think, D, we got
thanks,
you.
D. Dad, are you cheating on C4? What drink are you drinking on right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been talking with Ghost Corporate. We're working out some deals. C4 was like, no, we ain't into the old man talking about Dynasty fantasy football. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, we'll figure it out. No, but I mean, with this particular trade, I'm definitely, I am on that side.
Yeah.
I think Walker's the guy. If
Fannin
this
looked
was,
great.
Fannin looked
Fan-
great. Dobbins
looked
looked
great.
good.
He's got to change his number, though. He's giving me fullback vibes.
He does.
I didn't even know that was him for a second.
From
You
a
gotta give him a tight end number.
from a prospect standpoint and film standpoint, he was like to me and Dad the clear tight end 3 in this class, like no doubt about it.
And then he
If
fell
he
in
was
the draft, and we're like,
if he was drafted in the 2nd round, he probably would have been like an early 2nd round rookie pick or like mid at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trade 7 here coming from B. Cole, submitted in the Discord. We got one side with Ashton Jeanty, Marv, and a 2nd in 2027. Other side is Kyron, a lad, a 26 first, and 3rd Snoog. What side do we like on this one?
For me, Marv over Lad, Genty over Kyron in a first. You get a free 2nd in there. Sign me up all day.
Yeah, this is an absolute smash. Genty, say what you want. You know, like I know a lot of people just like Marv expected just week 1 to come out like gangbusters. He still had 22 touches. Like he was
tough run
getting
defense in the Patriots,
everything,
too.
you know, so like I am all in. I think he's going to be fantastic. I'm not worried about it at all.
Agree.
All right. Trade 8 here coming from Schmidt Sauce, submitted on the Discord. One side is Bryce Young, a 27 first and 26 third. Other side, Bo Nix and Kyle Pitts, who quietly had a decent little performance there in week 1. Dad, what side do we like here?
I think this depends solely on that 27 first, which is probably the most exciting piece out of this. If it's an early 27 first, give me Bryce.
Smash.
If it's mid, I think it's fair. If it's late, it's Nix. And I think Pitts is really the equalizer on here. Is like, I think if Pitts is not in this deal, I'm taking Nix, or I'm taking the Bryce side no matter what. But I think Pitts, I don't want to say it out loud, but he looked pretty good. You know, and I Michael Penix Jr. is going to throw for easily 4,000 yards. I mean, he threw 42 pass attempts. Every game he's played, he's thrown 35 plus pass attempts and is in that area. I think the Falcons defense is so bad. Kyle Pitts could be good, you know? So I think that's really the side that I'm leaning towards, unless that's.
I'm with you there. I don't love buying Bo Nix, but at that cost, if it's late, I'm doing it. If it's mid, fair, I'd probably still do it. Early, I'm taking the bright side and I'm running.
Yeah. This is the kind of trade where Snoog and I don't want Nix or Young. Now, I am buying both of them on the low end, but like we're trying to plan the next trade, right? So we're trying to be like, what can we do with that 27 first? Can we use that 27 first to get, another quarterback that's going to put up more points for us?
Yeah.
Can we use that 27 first because we're a contender to buy Derrick Henry? Can we, we're planning ahead one more step.
Exactly.
Next one coming through from National Champ Kanga Twitter. We got, or submitted on Twitter. We got one side, Zay and an early 26 first. Other side, AJ Brown and Jared Goff here, Snoog. What do we think?
This is like the same, right? Because the other one was Zay and a late. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to still go with AJB and Goff here. I think those are two really high-end vets that you can get that are going to be good for a while, high producers. But if I'm rebuilding, Dad, and if you throw, I think it's off by like a pair of seconds on the left-hand side. If you could give me a pair of seconds, I think I would be all in on doing it. I just think, I think Goff and AJ Brown are both probably worth more than Zay, as much as I'm like really big on the Zay hype train right now. And then I think they're probably both worth like an early to mid 26 first, like single-handedly. So I don't know. It's tough. I wouldn't fault you for taking the Zay side. If that has a chance of being the 101, I'd probably do it. But if it's 104 or 105, I'd probably lean AJ Brown.
I would not buy either of them for early 26 first. I value a top 3 26 first over AJ Brown or Goff. So let's cancel out AJ Brown in the early 26 first. Honestly, from what we saw week 1, I'm a little bit worried about Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions offense without Ben Johnson. I think Zay Flowers, we talked about it in the offseason, could be a breakout candidate. Snooki, I mean, there is a real scenario there, especially if I'm rebuilding. I'm not even debating this one. Like, I'm getting 2 older guys off my team, and I'm getting 2 young assets that I think are going to move up there in value. So I think 100% which direction you're kind of going. But if you're contending, no problem with AJ Brown and Goff. If you're worried about AJ Brown and you're still contending, and then you use that early 26 first and buy Chase Brown or Christian McCaffrey or something else in that area, now I think there's a lot of options in that trade.
That trade's interesting too, especially you kind of got to plant your flag on some of these guys. Zay Flowers, for the first 3 years, he does have a game like that where he puts up 12 targets. He looks great. Then the next game, he puts up 4. He puts up 8. He goes back down to being a 12-point per game guy. So it's like, what do you think he's going to be? Is he going to revert to that, or can he take that next step? And sometimes you got to kind of place your bet, which I think is the best part of trading during the season. It makes it a little bit more fun. Just wanted to give a little input there. So next super chat coming in from Doof, back for a second time. He said Hawk and AJ Brown or Warren and a mid 26 first. Dad, I'll kick this one your way.
Warren, everywhere I can get Warren.
He's a beast.
Honestly, I mean, I was screaming it from the rooftops to draft Warren, to get him in redraft, to get him in Dynasty. I value him very close to AJ Brown, and I want that mid first way over Hawkinson. So I think Warren will clearly, if he hasn't already, pass AJ Brown in value in Superflex. If you talk about tight end premium Superflex, if it's 0.75 and I'm drafting on the clock, I would rather have Warren than AJ Brown. And that might sound crazy, but look at the age gaps. Look at what you're doing. One of them's ascending, one of them's descending.
I'm not a big Hawk guy at all. So like getting Warren in a first for AJ Brown with Hawk attached, give me Warren all day long here. Cornerstone tight end, you get the first attached. I don't like Hawk. Getting AJ Brown, I love him. I don't like trading him, but like getting a young stud tight end like Tyler Warren, elite prospect, first round pick, top 13 pick in that 26 first, sign me up. Top 14 pick, actually. But
all right, next one coming in from Penn's Empire, submitted on the Discord. One side with AJ Brown in a 27 fourth. Got a lot of AJ Brown trades, as you'd expect right now after that week 1 performance. Other side is ETN, Pickens, and a third. Dad, what do we think on this?
I think this really looks at what your team construction is on this one. If you really need a running back, I would take a swing for this. I think Pickens is going to bounce back, and I think ETN is going to have a really nice season. I think AJ Brown is the lean. I think I gravitate towards that in an all-in move. But if I really need a running back, this is not bad, Snoog. I mean, Pickens by the end of the year could really keep ascending in value. He did also just have 31-yard dud as well. So I mean, like, he's 3 duds games in a row from not being worth a first round pick, falling into the second again. And ETN's, one fumble and getting into the doghouse away from that being an issue again too. So, I mean, AJ Brown's the safer side. Pickens and ETN gives you a little bit more juice.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think I'm going to lean AJ Brown here. I think it's a lot riskier on the right-hand side, but love George Pickens, love Travis Etienne. This one's kind of playing with my heartstrings here because I think all three of these guys are buys at cost right now. And I think that by week like 8, they're going to be back to normal. Like, I think all three of them bounce back. Etienne doesn't need to bounce back, but the other two.
All right. Next trade coming in from Robbish Rob, submitted through the Discord. We got one side with a late 27 first, early 26 second, and late 26 second. So first and 2 seconds there on that side. Other side is Waddle, ETN, and Daniel Jones. Dad, what do we think here?
I love these kind of trades if I'm rebuilding of like, get these 3 guys off my team and give me some future capital. Dimes is worth the second, the late second. The 27 first is worth more than Waddle, and the early 26 seconds worth more than ETN. I don't like making this kind of move, Snoog, if I'm trying to contend. Like, I don't like saying, you know what, here's 3 picks. If I'm doing this and I want assets to win now, that late 27 first is getting me Henry. That early 26 second is getting me Kamara. That late 26 second is getting me James Conner or Matthew Stafford. These are not the 3 guys I'm trying to buy.
Dad, if they are a Miami Dolphin and they're not named Ollie Gordon, I don't want them. Like, I really don't.
I still think AJ's going to be fine, but I think you're going to
be fine. He's going to be fine, but it's going to be the grossest way he gets his fantasy points. Like, he's going to be an RB1, like, no doubt about it. But it's probably going to be 10 carries for 22 yards and 8 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. Like, it's going to be such a gross way he gets all his points. But he's still a stud. He's probably the only one that I'm willing. Tyreek, yes, but that's just because I hope he gets traded. Mike McDaniel's got to go.
Yeah,
so
he's
does Tua.
This is it. I'm buying Tua for a second wherever I can because I think dude's he puts up fantasy points. That was gross. That was an anomaly week 1.
That was weird.
I've never seen.
Normally they come out hot week 1 too. Normally week
Yeah.
1's their thing. Trade 12 coming from Apollo Beck, submitted on Twitter. One side is Baker Mayfield, Keon Coleman, and Roma Dunze. Other side, the Texans stack. Disappointed in week 1, but Rams defense is pretty stout, so it was to be expected. But Stroud, Nico on that side. Snoog, what side do we like here?
I'm riding strong with that Texan stack there. You get a foundational stud in Nico Collins. I think it was a fluke week 1 for Nico. I don't think Stroud's going to be great for fantasy. I think he's going to probably be a guy that can stick around in the top 15 some weeks, top 10, has big games here and there. But that Texans offense, CJ Stroud's role is don't turn the ball over, make key plays in key situations, and win the game. That's literally the role he plays in that offense and play good defense. But Nico Collins is literally the only weapon on that team that deserves to be on an NFL team right now. Like, that offense is so bad. They can't run the ball. They have no offensive line. Their running backs are trash. Jaden Higgins looked terrible. Jalen Noel didn't even play. Dalton Schultz is trash. Like, we know that. It's literally Nico Collins. So until they get more help to open up the rest of the field, Stroud's just not a good buy in Dynasty, and Nico Collins is probably going to just be a guy that gets 12 targets a game.
If there's a 27-1-2 swap on here, I'm taking Baker's side, not even debating. I want Baker Mayfield over CJ Stroud in Dynasty. And I know that's not the rankings that we're going to see, but Baker just puts up points.
I feel like Baker's going to have a down year, though, weirdly. I have a
after
weird
3
feeling.
touchdowns week 1.
I don't know.
You love Ibuka, but now you're going to say that you're Baker.
Not like a down year, but I don't think he's going to do what he did last year again. I feel it's going to come down.
They said that last year. Last 2 years, he leads the entire
lost his
NFL
OC though now, so it's a little sketchy.
Stroud's tough right now because you need 4 touchdowns and 300 yards for him to be relevant. With this O-line, with no run game, if it's not a shitty shootout against a bad team, I don't see him doing that against any decent opponent. Just with the current build they have around, there's just simply no way he can achieve that production.
Rome looked good week 1. Keon looked fantastic. So that's what I'm saying. If we can get a little bit more on that side, I think that's the side. That's what I'm saying. There's some juice on that side. And we both loved CJ Stroud, but like just not getting it done right now. And it's not all him. That's clearly for sure. But
Yeah,
we got
100%.
We'll see if we can find this one in the chat somewhere from Not Goron. But I'm good while we do that, I'm gonna throw on that. Maybe that's just a for the love of the game. Appreciate you, brother. And Ty K. It's gotta be, it's not a trade show without a little bit of Ty K magic. Here we go.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Super chat number 12 here. So we're giving away a month of the basic, a month of the VIP. If we hit 15 and 20, we'll do 2 more VIP months there for the Discord. But this one coming in from Ty K. Appreciate it here, Ty. He said he's real thin at running back. He has James Cook, Devon Achane. Would you trade a 2026 second for Swift? We got the boys nodding. He was pretty much the only guy back there besides a couple DJ Moore carries.
He looked pretty good too. He was running through contact. He was running through contact. He's still a pass catcher. Dude, go get DeAndre Swift. I think he's the Vikings one of the best values.
Vikings defense is really
they're good. No joke.
No.
Very good. Yeah, I think that whole division has each other's numbers. Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. It feels like it's either an absolute shootout or the grossest game ever when any of those teams play each other. So yeah. I think week 1, it was tough for all of them to face each other. Like even like in that Bears Vikings game, like the game started off gross. And then they finally got in a rhythm. 2 QBs started turning up. JJ McCarthy looked phenomenal in that second half.
Yeah.
Jared Goff was atrocious. Like I think a lot of those teams are really good. I think they're going to bounce back in a good way. But tough matchups. They all have good coaches. They all have good defenses. It's just like such a tough division. Best I've seen.
All right. Next trade coming in from a Boat Commish over in Smash Team. We got one side with 80 Mitchell, a 27 first, 26 second. Other side, Zay Flowers and old Uncle Keenan Allen. Dad, what do we think here?
First off, shout out to Boat Commish. Follow him on Twitter. He has his own section now in the Discord. He's part of the team. Heading up a commissioner section. You know, a lot of you guys are like, you message me all the time. Dad, this happened in my league. Dad, what are the right settings? Dad, how do you deal with taxi squads? What do you do with all these things? He's in there. He has an entire section just committed to commissioner questions. And I know 11 out of all 12 guys in your league aren't the commissioners. But you guys that are, if you have those questions, you always want to chop it up. He's at Boat Commish on Twitter. He's in our Discord. You know, like a lot of times shady things will happen in a league and you're like, how do we deal with this?
Yep.
How do I deal with this particular trade? Is I take the 27 first and Adonai Mitchell. As much as I really talk up Zay Flowers, I do not think he's worth the 27 first and the 26 second. And I would rather have Adonai Mitchell than Keenan Allen long-term in Dynasty. So it's a fair trade, but he is rebuilding. I know that for a fact, so I would smash. I'm going to give you a cowbell for the work that you're doing in the Discord and this particular trade.
Imagine the Bills or the Patriots took Adonai Mitchell and didn't just – Keon Coleman looks good right now.
Buried down that depth chart.
I think Keon's going to work out for them, but like Jalen Polk.
Let's be honest. Adonai Mitchell and Josh Downs are dead.
Like took Roman Wilson over him.
Tyler Warren is the number 1 target. And Michael Pittman had 10 targets. I love Downs and I love Mitchell, but if Warren's going to be the number 1 target on a run-first team like this, those two guys, something's got to give. You know what I mean? So, like, if you can trade them now and get, especially Downs still has a lot of trade value. I think you could pair him in a second to get to a first or use him to get to some of those wide receivers we were talking about before.
Next trade coming in from Penn's Empire, submitted in the Discord. We got one side with a Jonathan Taylor and a second. Other side, Pollard and a first. Snoog. So we got the classic 1-2 swap. What side do we like here?
If it's mid or late, I like the JT side. I actually answered this one in the Discord as well. He asked me this. I liked it. I think Pollard's probably worth a little bit more than that second, but if they're late picks, getting JT for a late 26-1, JT is going to have himself a year, Dad, in this offense because they can finally move the ball. He had like 100 total yards at halftime. They didn't have to do anything in the half. Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor did all that in the first half. Like, that's what's really impressive with this.
DJ Giddens got like 12 carries or something.
We have to understand that Shane Steichen's one of those offensive-minded coaches that his offenses just work. They work well, and they're schemed well, and they're versatile. They can change things up. There's creativity. When you have
the quarterback isn't trash.
Exactly. As long as he's competent and can command the offense, it's going to be fine.
I did a rest of the season ranking. I'm starting to do that now. Both wide receiver and running back. JT is my RB7 rest of the year. He's that good. He's going to put up crazy numbers.
Yeah. Trade 15 coming from Sean Owens, the trade coordinator.
Not
the
Seth.
one who pulls these trades.
Sean.
So
Getting everything set up for us here. We appreciate the work that you do here, Sean. One side, Achane. Other side, Swift, Montgomery, and a first out in 2028, Dad. Let's break down Sean's trade. What do you think?
I think I'm in with this. I mean, give me Swift to get 70% of what Achane is there. Give me the 28 first for insulation. Then give me Monty, and then let me flip Monty for something else. Like, if I'm all in, though, right? And this is like the last. So Swift, and then Snoog and I talk about this all the time. If Swift and Monty are on my bench, push the chips in for Achane. Like, I think that's the way to do that. But if you're not all in, and that's what I like sometimes. Like, if you're one of those teams, it's kind of like you're floating in the middle. You're like, I think I could contend. Maybe I won't. Swift gives you the points. The insulations with the pick. Flip Monty to another contender, and I think you're fine.
I agree. If it's a 27 first, I feel a million times better about this.
Done.
But that
Done.
28 class could end up being really good with all these true freshmen looking phenomenal. So.
All right, I think we got Sean Owens back to back here. So another trade coming from Sean.
Maybe he's stacking the show sheet here a little bit. You know, throwing in two of
he's
his
sneaking
own
a couple of his in there.
You know,
hey, but
like,
this is the first time. This is the first time he's done it in 20 some odd trade shows. So
and this one's nice.
We'll cover this one too.
I think he's done a good job with the trades too.
JT on one side, Achane and JMO on the other. So, Dad, do you know if this league's related? Did he get Achane in that deal and then put JMO on top to get JT?
I do not know. I do not know.
All right.
At face value, very
I
fair.
think he did.
But if you did this and you flipped, you basically got Swift, Monty, JMO, 28 first for Ashton Genty, then I will applaud you because that's how you get it done. You know, and I think JMO, this is one where I would really want to move up to Genty as much as it's possible.
I agree.
Yeah. Trade 17 coming from AO Jr. submitted on the Discord. AO, we got one side with Addison, other side with Worthy. So Addison, Dad, like we all know, missing 2 more games here. Worthy, do we even have any clarity on what's going on there with his injury? Maybe you have some of there on your end.
Shoulder, I think.
Yeah, dislocated
what
shoulder.
Side do you like?
So he's day to day, but the average wait time on that is usually 1 to 2 weeks. Worthy over Addison, but I think because Addison's suspended, you get a little bit of a discount there. They're both going to play the same amount of games. I think Addison's going to put up points too. Addison in a second for Worthy in the third. I'd rather have Addison, but I think
it's whoever I get the second on top of.
Face value, and I hate these, right? I talk about these all the time. Is like you obviously prefer one of the wide receivers. That's why you're making the trade offer. So if they offer you this, they clearly think they're winning. So you get something else, right? So whoever offered this, right? If I offered Addison for Worthy, then you come back and you say, let's do a 2-3 swap, or let's flip-flop these 2 running backs. And that's how you win these trades twice. Is you understand what I'm saying? No matter what, whoever offers this in a 1-for-1, they
prefers
clearly
the other
prefer
one.
the guy that they're trying to get. So do something back and do where you get Kamara and you give up Connor, or you give up, something like that. That just seems to be the way to win these.
Squeeze him a little.
Yep.
See what else you can get there.
Just a little maybe bit. Maybe you just get a third, but so what? It helps you sleep at night and helps you draft the next, Bill Krosky Merritt.
Facts. All right. Next trade 18 coming from D. Whitney, submitted on the Discord. We got one side with Jamar Chase, other side, Ricky Pearsall, and 2 mid-firsts, one next year, one the year after. I think Dad's got some
before this, he's buying Chase, and the guy wanted Egbuka, and I was like, no. But Ricky Pearsall in a mid-first, let's be honest.
Cowbell.
Even if this becomes the only way you lose this is if that becomes 101 in 2020.
Pearsall becomes Cooper Kupp. That's the only way you lose this.
I do like Ricky Pearsall. I really do. I think he's looking really solid. But I mean, you give me a 27 first for him, he's gone. You can have him.
Yeah. Trade 19 coming from Maybach Mac. This one's submitted in the Discord. One side is Colston Loveland, and the other side is Zach Ertz, Cedric Tillman, Ben Sinnott, and a pair of 27 seconds. So we got a few turd sandwiches, few seconds in here.
Yes.
Snoog, what do you like?
Tillman and the seconds are decent pieces. I'm taking Loveland all day here. All day long here.
I would not even entertain it. I would just be like, sorry. You know, like if that was a 27 first and the turd sandwiches, I would take it.
Yeah.
I'm past that. I mean, I think the Bears offense has some warts, that's for sure. Loveland, like I said, Warren was going to be the guy year one, but Loveland is the project to buy. I think throughout this year, you're going to see Warren's value go up and Loveland become more and more of a buy and a guy that's going to be, have really good longevity as a top 5 dynasty tight end.
Yep, you nailed that. Trade 20 here coming from Immortal, submitted on the Discord. We got one side with DJ Moore and Dalton Kincaid. Other side, Chase Brown. Snoog's flicking his wrist. Snoog, break this one down. What side do you like?
Chase Brown, cowbell, Dad. I like Kincaid
Kincaid
now,
was
though.
nice.
I was gonna say, is he finally like looking the part? I think so.
I think with the Bills, you have an opportunity, like we talked about with Christian McCaffrey, being healthy, you have an opportunity to sell. If you've held on to Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid, you have an opportunity here, right? Like if you try to trade both of them in the offseason, you couldn't get a second for either of them. Nobody would do it, even though the talent's there. So, I mean, but I want Chase Brown. I really do want Chase Brown here.
All right. And I believe the last one here on the docket for today, trade 21 coming from a Chase 10. We got one side with ETN and a second. We'll call it a 26 second. Other side, Zay Flowers. Dad, what do we think here?
I want Zay. Unless it's early, I want Zay Flowers. And there's other questions in here like dynasty trades all day. Zay Flowers or Bill Krosky Merritt? It's got to be Zay, right? I mean, Zay Flowers definitely has a ton of opportunities. Funky Monkey says, Dad, I need your help with tight end. I have Ingram. Should I get Fannin or Juwan Johnson? This is more of a redraft question, and we love, getting both of those in there. Juwan Johnson had an insane day, 27% target share from the tight end position. Honestly, this is more of throwing a dart, but in Dynasty, if you want a cheap Kittle fill-in, trade a third for Juwan Johnson. He had 11 targets, 8 receptions, 72 yards, insane volume, but Fannin's the guy. Snoog, everybody keeps I think this is a buy low Njoku time. I had some guys reaching out on Twitter saying, is Njoku washed? Should I be buying Fannin and selling Njoku? I don't think that's the case, but I think we really have a spot.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Fannin's a great player. I think there's room for both of them, though. I think Fannin plays a very unique role in this offense. He's almost kind of like a gadgety, like tight end screen, like a Jonnu Smith type of player. And that was actually my NFL comp for him, was just a better, more polished prospect of Jonnu Smith. But Dad, I think like we're going to see these Browns in a lot of negative game scripts. They're obviously, as week one went, they're really heavy scripted on their running backs through the run game, through the pass game to their running backs. But Flacco went out there with 40 plus attempts. Like we're going to see that a lot. Jerry Jeudy, better days ahead for him. He should have had like 20 points. He dropped a bunch of passes like CeeDee Lamb did. Njoku's going to get his opportunity there. Fannin, great boost, good value. Judkins, Sampson, those guys, they're going to skyrocket. Sampson's going to have standalone value as a pass catcher in this offense. So a lot of good things here with this Browns offense, despite how bad they're going to be.
Brock, Ryan Canny comes on. He says he's rebuilding. Lamar Jackson's that last big chip. What should you be looking for? How do you possibly go about trying to trade a Lamar Jackson if it's your last piece of the puzzle? Because let's be honest, I mean, if you're the 102 in startups, you can't go up in value anymore. So if you're rebuilding, Lamar's that big piece. How do you go about trading Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I think he pretty much nailed it here. The only options, in my opinion, are going to be either just selling for a horde of picks. Like you have him, I think, for worth about 4 firsts. If you can get anything close to that, just do that. Or if you can get like Caleb Williams in 2 firsts or Drake May in 2 firsts, that's a great tier down. I don't think I'd go anything below that because trading down and rebuilding, you don't want to get a guy that's old. Like I'm not trading down and getting Bo Nix or getting a guy that I really don't like, who is still young. But a guy like Caleb, a guy like May, if you can get Herbert in 2 firsts and throw Lamar in a second, I think something like that would make sense. But either get all picks or get one of those elite young quarterbacks with a lot of upside and then also try and squeeze 2 firsts on top. If you have to throw a second to get it done, I do that.
Let's talk
Vote
about Caleb
commish.
for a second, Dad, because I think
Let's do it.
we talked about Caleb's upside as a rusher, and we saw that. Like he's so explosive and fast as a rusher.
He's fast, yeah.
The growing pains are still there as a passer. It seems like the offense is almost a little like he either looks like the first couple of drives, he looked phenomenal. It was like, all right, he's in a rhythm, he's hitting the open man, he's consistent, he's comfortable. And then it's like clean pocket, Caleb standing there 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds.
What
It's
he
like,
needs,
do something. Like, what are you doing? You're just standing there.
he's a rare arm talent with raw athleticism. When he has the opportunity, when he goes and rolls out, and you and I were texting about this, when he rolls out or when he drops his arm angle, like that pass he had to Rome was sick. He dropped the arm angle, put it in there. He makes some of the most impressive Patrick Mahomes-like throws. And then for a streak like in the third quarter into the fourth quarter, he had what should have been nine straight incompletions, but Cole Kmet made the sickest catch I've ever seen.
Yeah, he saved him on that one.
And it was like a tale of two quarterbacks. Like McCarthy looked like trash. And we got to understand that was his first start ever going against the Bears in Chicago. And then all of a sudden, just a light switch went off. And he is a proven winner, right? In high school, he lost 2 games. In college, I think he lost 1. Like he's a guy that has that moxie where Caleb, he might put up some flashy stats. I am low-key buying them both. Honestly, like I'm committed to both of them. Just like Steve from accounting.
All right, Steve from accounting. Appreciate the super chat here.
Chase Caldwell, good way selling high.
Let him.
I can't even read it. We got Jamar for Igbuka, Zay, and Taj Brooks throw in. It's Jamar.
Hey, mid 27 first instead of Taj Brooks.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, late 27 first instead of Taj Brooks.
No.
No,
probably still do it. It's maybe, close, but no.
Right? I think that's.
Are we spinning the wheel?
Yeah, we're spinning that wheel. We got up to 13. It wasn't your normal day, but we're going to give away a basic and we're going to give away a VIP. The cool part was, as we're doing this, 1,500 plus people tuning in. We really enjoy that process. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show, share it with your friends. We've been cranking out a ton of different content, a lot of different opportunities for you guys to see what we do with our dynasty and our redraft processes. So let's spin that wheel and get it going. I feel like Doof wins every time, but let's
we spin it twice.
Yeah.
Nephew EJ, let's go. New to the show. You get that basic. DM us on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF or at FF Snoog. And if you don't have Twitter, message in the comments on YouTube and we'll find you.
Number 2.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
High class scumbag.
All right. And he's also not in the Discord. So that's fantastic. Or did it come off there? That was weird. All right. Yeah. Guys, this has been a fun show. I know, there's a lot of things going on. We appreciate you guys tuning in live. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/smashaccept. Thanks again for tuning in and enjoy the process. Let's go.